Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Dragon Heist. In
Yes.
fact, it's episode 13. Thank you, Elf, for helping me clarify that while we were running up to the show. It's like, is it 13? I don't know. Someone look for me. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for coming. It is another, if you're watching this live on Twitch, another unusual time. I feel like we have two times now. We're either Wednesday morning or Friday afternoon. It's really nice not having to miss episodes. So thanks, everybody.
You gotta keep your eyes out.
Yeah, right. You gotta be ready to catch us.
For when we appear. Yeah.
So thanks for coming, everybody, to this special rescheduled episode of Dragon Heist. Let's get caught up real quick because we've only got the 3 hours and we've got some nobles to thwart. How's everybody doing? Dave, what have you been up to? You doing anything cool these days, Dave? It's an appropriate noise. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got to play my other robot yesterday in another stream on it. I like him as well.
Nice.
It's pretty fun.
Is your other robot also Warforged, or is this a different kind of robot?
Yeah, I got Wolfwatch Paladin as well. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
Unlike this one, who's sometimes a good boy.
What campaign are you playing that one
in? It's a homebrew campaign. I started off as a guest, but it's kind of cool. It's like one of those rotating cast sort of things.
Oh, neat.
So I got brought in again for the campaign finale.
Nice. That's cool. What level are you guys?
I think I'm only, I was 4 there, but I hit level 6 by the end of it. So
wow,
around the same actually.
Yeah. That's cool. Nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's cool getting to play like multiple. And I think this is the thing, because I do the same thing even by accident. I'm like, I'm gonna play a character, and then I make it like we were playing a superhero game not that long ago. Lauren and Blue Jay and we played a superhero game as a one shot, and I made a cleric. And I was like, I didn't even realize until I'd finished my character. I was like, God damn it. Fuck. I just always play the same character. But yeah, I'm glad that you have another opportunity to be a robot. That's very cool. So is that campaign done now, or?
I think it has a few more one-shots, but I'm not in those ones.
Cool.
I'll put a link in chat.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, where can people watch that if they want to go back and see the other robot Dave?
Yeah, it's on twitch.tv/Capricorn Cross.
Capricorn Cross. Oh, this one. Yeah, I remember you talking about it before. That's cool.
Weirdly found out we live within 20 minutes of each other after the first online session. It's weird.
Oh, that's so cool. Nice. Well, good work. I'm excited. I'm gonna go check it out. I like Robot Dave. Blue Jay, I know you were at TwitchCon, or you were at Unplugged. You were also at TwitchCon, but you were at Unplugged. You got to be on a panel, and I've been thinking about this. So Blue Jay, what you got last minute? Tell us that story. You ended up going to Unplugged last minute.
I wasn't gonna go. I wasn't gonna go to. I wasn't gonna go to PAX Unplugged.
Yeah.
But then my dad was like, "When's PAX Unplugged? Where is it? Do you still want to go?" And bought me the plane ticket out of fucking nowhere the night before.
Yeah.
That's not a thing that happens commonly in my life. I don't know if it happens to you, viewer, but it doesn't happen to me. So that was crazy, and I couldn't sleep because I was so worked up about it. So I ended up going to PAX anyway, but I didn't have anything planned because I didn't think I was going to go. And I ran into some friends, Satine and Rudy, who do Maze Arcana together and are also on this channel. And they were like, "Hey, do you want to be on this panel that we have?" And I was like, "Sure. Yeah, I'm smart and can talk about things like creating Dungeons and Dragons characters. I've done that many a time." So I did.
The reason I thought it was cool and interesting that you, of all of us, that you were the one that was on a panel about making characters, is that pretty universally your characters are the ones that the people on the internet tend to have the most strong, vehement opinions about.
Okay, here's the thing, Adam. It's not my characters.
Right. Well, so this is the thing, right? So it's and that's something that's interesting. Like when I think about your characters, the ones that I think about are Alessandra, right? Who is the worst of a group of terrible people. And Arcturus, who is the guy who is I'm gonna cause trouble because I have a firm moral compass that is different from the rest of the party. And then Macaria, who is a fucking trash goblin. So
okay. I got Macaria dice, is what I'm saying. They're really great.
So it's really cool getting that opinion in that space, because I think a lot of the time the advice for people is like, make a character that everybody's gonna like and like get along with your party and all this.
No,
And
yeah.
Blue Jay does not give a shit about that.
Well, as long as the group is still having a good time, like
I brought that up in the panel. I said, like, I check in and make sure, and if people are having a problem and don't tell me, that's not my fucking problem. That's
no, yeah,
Right. Well, and that's what I think is interesting about it, right? Is that having that viewpoint. So that's cool. And then,
yeah, but it was basically just like in playing Arcturus, I became interested in the idea of a cleric who didn't shy as hard away from necromantic magics, because you have the spell Animate Dead.
Yeah.
Like, you have spells to like make yourself some zombies, like, and there's got to be gods in the Forgotten Realms that aren't as anti that. So like that was where the idea of Macaria came from, and creating a character who is kind of antithesis to the idea of the like helpful support healer cleric.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was just kind of talking about like where ideas like that came from, and like how you, like, at what point you start building your character in terms of like, I roll stats and then decide that I'm really good at this thing because that's what I rolled, or like I roll stats and don't give a fuck because I want to do this instead. Right.
You get Berg syndrome and you just end up with a terrible character, but you're like, it doesn't matter. It's not that big a deal. Yeah. No, it's cool.
The panel was streamed on twitch.tv/PAX2. I don't know if it is still in the VODs there or not.
I think that they tend to chop up their VODs into highlights, but it may take a little bit. So PAX 2, if you want to watch that panel.
PAX 2.
And what day of the con was it? It was the first day, right?
It was Friday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so there
it
you
was
go.
the first. Or wait, it was Saturday. It was Friday. I'm really bad at like knowing what it passes, and I just am party to it.
Okay.
We'll give Blue Jay a minute to recover. That's fine.
Every day is Tuesday, so
okay, yeah, right. It's randomly Tuesday again.
It's always Tuesday.
Yeah. What have you been? Speaking of Tuesdays, what have you been up to?
I did my health insurance for those of us who are American and have to deal with
I did that too.
Yeah, that's what I spent like 6 hours doing on Monday. So
I just picked the cheapest one.
That's also a legitimate choice, but I had to figure out how much money I've made this year because I apparently forgot to track all of my money.
Oh no.
With like 6 months to catch up on.
I just went off of my tax returns from last year and just hope it's similar.
Yeah, you think making an RPG character is complicated? I'll tell you.
Try making a real life human.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I would rather make 1,000 Burning Wheel characters than have to do my taxes once.
Please don't make more humans. There's too many of them already.
Well,
okay, Thanos.
I feel like that might average out to being like the same amount that you do every year. Like 1,000 Burning Wheel characters or one.
One taxes.
Like
one taxes.
One taxes. I also finished most of a cosplay, so I'm ready to go.
That's cool. What is it a cosplay of?
Do you know the movie Stardust?
Yes.
Captain Shakespeare in his petticoat corseted glory. I am making that costume.
Sick. You make the corset?
I made the corset.
Oh, that's so exciting.
It was a process.
I know. It's very intimidating. It's a lot of math.
People who are able to draw or make music or like create clothing from nothing are fucking sorcerers. You should all be burned at the stake for your wicked sorcery.
From nothing. It's called Amazon.
No, I mean making stuff, making things with your like
conjuring things from the internet is a spell we all know.
Yeah, everybody knows that spell.
It's basically the prestidigitation, right?
it's a fucking cantrip. But like seriously, being able to make things, it's magic, and I'm always so impressed when someone is like, check out this wicked thing I made, and I'm like, how?
Or the people who like make armor and shit. Like, you've done that before. You did that for your Assassin's Creed one, right, Lauren?
Oh my god, not my favorite. I'd rather work with fabric. I find it more forgiving.
I was sitting during the pre-show listening to the new Drummer Boy song and just being like, how dare you? How dare you do this? How dare you take like this weird piece of wood and blow air through it, and now it's this beautiful song? Like, what sorcery?
When I do that, it's the worst noise you've ever heard.
Yeah, right?
How does that happen?
I love it. People making stuff. It's the coolest. I'm super excited. So you're finishing that cosplay now?
Yes, so that I have the makeup test to do. So we're gonna figure out how to do contouring. I'm gonna watch a lot of drag king videos because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Nice. I'm excited. I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. I assume
I
you're
did
gonna-
that once. I gave myself a beard.
Yeah, me too. I also did.
Hey,
I did it once though. This is the
big
same beard.
surprise. Me too.
Yep. Good work, everybody.
Except for I glued mine on my face, so you don't have to do that.
Homegrown, motherfucker.
Is it free range though? I'm sorry, organic.
Yeah.
So Elf, how are you weathering the cold? Every day that I get up and I'm like, damn, it's cold. I'm like, I can't complain. I don't live in Alberta.
I actually have had my window open for the past 3 days because my room is so hot that the outside -6 balances out my computer overheating.
I don't need a computer cooler. Just open the window.
Fair. I've definitely had that situation where you're like, so there's down the street from me, and I'm pretty sure that there's like 8 people living in this house. There's this house, and every time I walk by, they have all the doors and windows open, and you can like hear video game noises from inside. And there's always someone standing on the balcony like smoking, and I'm pretty sure there's like an illegal esports team operating out of this apartment near my house. And I'm
but like, what is an illegal esports team?
You know, like they're operating illegally. I don't know. It sounds cooler than just a regular esports team.
Okay? They cheat and use hacks.
But every time I walk by, it's just video game noises, and there's always somebody vaping on the patio, and I'm just like,
very esports team of them.
Yeah, you go illegal hidden League of Legends team.
Your dreams, follow them.
That's right, underground esports. Yeah, they're like an underground fighting group. Anyway. Well, that's a good job balancing the freezing weather with your terrible burning computer from hell.
And in other news, I've played far too much Path of Exile at weird times of the day.
Yeah, there's like a new thing, right?
The new thing's it's coming out 2 days from now. The like new league / expansion thinger.
Yeah, Dan and JP have been like.
Siobhan is really into Path of Exile, so if I want to like sit down and play some video games with her, that's kind of what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah.
But we tend to like start at like 9 p.m. and just go into like the 3 a.m. Sort of spaces. And
Elf
like
also doesn't sleep.
Optimal delirious video game time.
Yeah, it's definitely thrown off my schedule somewhat. The Legend of the Beef Witch it's Path of Exile thing.
Andrew tried to teach me Path of Exile once. We did a stream of it, and at the end of it, I was like, "This is just way too much for me. Like, it's just too complicated." And I don't.
People come into the stream and they're like, "What build are you going?" And I'm like, "You think I'm going a build? That's hilarious! I'm just clicking nodes as I go."
Yeah, that's fair.
How can I get the witch to sword things all the way down there? All right.
Yeah. I get it. I look at the complexity of it, and I'm like, I could appreciate if someone wanted to commit the time and energy into learning how to make this thing go.
Oh yeah.
That I but it's not the right kind of complexity for me, I don't think. But yeah, big times for Path of Exile. A lot of people like really into it, which is cool. I like that. Even if it's a game I don't play, I like when people are excited about shit and they're like, because there are these times where like it feels like the whole internet is just like games suck, the internet sucks, art sucks. But when people are like, this thing is coming out, it's great, and I'm like, it doesn't seem great to me, but like I'm excited that you're excited.
Yeah,
so that's cool.
You know what I'm excited about? Transition time. My birthday's in 2 days. Yeah.
I was hoping we could get through it and that she wouldn't bring it up.
She's been hyping her birthday for the last 3 weeks.
You really think I wasn't going to bring it up? You don't know me at all, do you?
You know, it wasn't so much a hope as it was a dream that has been popped like a soap bubble.
Okay, you could just not come over for my birthday if you don't want to celebrate my birthday with me. Otherwise, you have to celebrate. It's either you don't celebrate or you have to celebrate the entire month.
That is an open threat right there.
Yeah,
you can just not come.
Well, congratulations on not dying another
Thank
almost
you.
year.
It was a hard one.
Yeah.
Almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
But we did because, time, it continues no matter what you do. Like, it just keeps going. And I just, what's going on with that?
So you
Zero effort, still survived.
I know, right?
You doing anything?
Like, I didn't do anything.
Do anything fancy on your birthday, PJ?
Yes, I'm going to a Yule feast.
Sick.
You knew that already.
I know, but that's like we're doing the talk show thing where I already know, but I'm asking like I don't know so that we can pretend that you ruined it. Fuck it.
So
We're now it's
uninterested.
over.
Like,
We're playing
I don't
Dungeons and
even
Dragons
wanna-
now.
I
No,
don't even want to talk about it with you because you're
it's
like,
done. It's done. We're done.
Are
We're
you
playing
doing
D&D.
it?
So
Are you
before
doing
the
it
players
for your
get to do
birthday?
anything, quiet Blue Jay. Before the players get to do anything, I have to make some rolls. Chat. Me and you need to figure some stuff out. So chat, don't tell them the results of these rolls.
I'm gonna pause.
It's you and me and the Castellanters. So I got to roll. Let's see, 3.
It's like a weird movie.
Right.
You, me, and the cat. I'll roll
You, me,
two.
and the
Two.
Castellanters.
I got a 13 and a 4.
So the players and I would get to
And a
make
12.
the players and I would get to make this roll together if they hadn't failed in the last situation. But let's see here.
I love your dice.
Okay. So this guy. Okay. And then the second one was
So,
a.
like all this mumbling could instead be me talking about my birthday.
Nobody
but
wants that.
Everyone wants that. I'm great.
I'm with Adam on this one.
Yeah. We know.
So what we're saying is the people who are supposedly my friends don't care about my awesome birthday.
I've already heard about it like 5 times.
Yeah,
I only need to
same.
hear about it.
I would love to be really excited about your birthday, but it's the second most important thing that's happening on that day.
Smash. It's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Chat, you saw the thing that I rolled. You can see what I got. So the Castellanters now have control over the Stone of Galore, which we confirmed last time by visiting Castellanter Villa and standing outside casting spells.
Yeah.
And what they will do with it, I suppose we shall find out. But in the meantime, the players have now been mandated to try to like keep an eye on them or figure out a way to get the stone back. We've sort of entered an open portion of the game where if you just do nothing, the timer will run out and you will lose the adventure.
That's
So-
my suggestion, personally.
Wait. You can't lose D&D. Let's just go build our tavern.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess no. Technically, you can't lose D&D, but this adventure has a goal, and you could
I really
fail to
enjoyed the, like,
accomplish it.
I really enjoy the like. So who cares about this? Like, look at each other. No one. Like,
Well, we failed. Might as well go build a tavern.
So what are you gonna do? It
Build a
is
tavern.
let me see what day of the calendar is, because it was just Sornin, right? So
Sure.
it was.
also, can I just call out that that's a D 10,398?
Yeah. Yeah, you can roll any kind of imaginary die if you
That's
want.
a really big die, like theoretically.
That's
Honestly,
very
really-
specific.
Okay, so it's currently Flame Rule, because the date actually really matters right now. So the date is Flame Rule 5, because I think that's when Sornin is. And the next month is Elisis or High Sun. Okay, all right, good. And for folks who are watching and who are familiar with the adventure already, and they're like, but Adam, a thing was supposed to happen. I moved the holiday. I picked a different one. It's not, Founders Day is not the day that the thing happens on. Okay, so let's talk about what the plan is. So you know where the stone is.
I think we're gonna stake out the mansion, basically.
Yeah. The great thing about a Warforged on the stakeout is I can stand there literally forever and never move.
Yeah.
Just motionless.
Can we can disguise you?
Yeah, you should disguise me as like a statue or something. And
Yeah.
I'll just have my eyes poking out.
I'm actually pretty good at disguise, I think. Hang on.
I mean, just because you're also like the downside of you standing there as a Warforged is you're the only Warforged that we know of, and they'll be like, there's a Warforged right there.
Just pile loads of trash on me, and I'll just.
That's what I
sit
was thinking. Just hide you in a pile of trash.
Listen, you're already surrounded by trash, so.
Be nice to Makaria.
I mean, that was an area of effect burn for all of you,
Yeah.
but that's
Look,
fine.
just because Jewel
I
lives
am
in a
not.
trash pit.
I am not trash, thank you very much.
That's true.
Very
Very
refined.
fancy.
Refined trash is still trash. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there is this sense of like you could post up outside of Castellanter Villa and keep an eye on it, and see what they get up to.
I could go try and join their cult or whatever. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on whether you think they're
Stop, are you recruiting?
whether they're gonna recognize you or not, right? Like you'd have to.
Well, none of
disguise
them
yourself.
are. They haven't seen, except for the doppelganger.
The doppelganger has definitely seen you.
Well, yeah, but nobody else has.
Yeah.
So I would take the risk that every person I talk to might be the doppelganger.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
other
Because
than
it's like
that,
the shape changer knows who.
'cause I
you
have
are.
no way to identify it. So.
Mhm.
Other than murder.
Yeah, that's true. If you went into the villa and killed everyone in there, someone would be a doppelganger.
Someone would be a doppelganger,
Yeah.
thus
That's-
justifying our murder.
Yeah.
That's what I
Oh,
said.
the other thing that we talked about was the option to consult with someone who knows more about the nobility to see if you can learn something about the Castellanters and their situation. Right? Because that we'd made that history roll and came up short.
Yeah, we need to do a little research.
Yeah.
Well, we can, as
Do we
much as
wanna-
I'm allowed to admit it, we can do both of these things at the same time.
Yeah, we should
Mhm.
break,
I think we
as it were.
definitely want to stake out, and I feel, yeah, I think the research isn't bad.
Who's on the stakeout and who's on the research?
Probably Jewel and I on stakeout. Jewel can get like a better look of hidden areas, probably, but I can watch like the entrances to the house.
That's,
That
Yeah.
means you have to hang out with me.
No, that's fine. I'm good with it.
Yeah, I think Jewel would definitely be able to sneak around and like watch the back doors and also find out if there was any, like she might do a little bit of scouting at night or something to see if maybe they have a secret exit that we should be paying attention to.
Oh, or if we see someone that we want to follow, you will be way
You
better
should
at that.
definitely
than I am.
follow them better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Jewel would be totally down with that. She'd be like, so I'm gonna go hang out with 8 and watch them.
All
And
right.
then follow them into an alley. And then she just like takes a dagger and is like, oh no.
We need to know where they're going. Please don't stab them.
Okay, I'll wait until after I know where they're going.
That's fine. Go ahead. But I suppose that means Makari and I'll figure something out about the Castellanters then.
Yeah.
Yes, well.
I'm Floon.
I mean, if anyone can join their cult, it would definitely be you. She points at Rin.
I just like have this face of like,
I mean that in the sense that you could convince them that you want to be there. I am very clearly not a subtle person if you talk to me.
you're right. You're good at being unseen or running very fast, but I wouldn't leave you to have conversations about difficult subject matter
Please don't.
that needs to be very pointed.
Cool. Well, now that that's
it.
decided,
Good
the
plan.
Yawning Portal?
You could talk to Floon again.
Sure.
Or I
You
could
had some
not do
opinion.
that ever.
So Rin and Makari are gonna head to the Yawning Portal, and
Floon and his Floonsies.
yeah, Aiden, Jewel, what are you gonna do? You're gonna stay here and scope out the villa, or
Yeah, so I think we're planning on stakeout, right? So we're gonna watch at least the front entrance, and then what time of day? It's daytime right now.
it is?
pretty-
Yeah, it's like early afternoon on the 6th of Flame Rule.
Yeah, I think Jewel will probably wait until it's better time for sneaking to then do like a scout around the building to see if there's any other. I mean, she'll do anything she feels like no one's gonna get mad at her if they catch her right now, and then use the advantage of night to do where's
I'm
your
just-
secret doors.
I just want to see if
It's a free country. I'm just watching your house.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a loitering law, but I don't see it. So I'm allowed to just, hang out. Yeah, I see littering and poisoning. It should be in there somewhere. All right, cool. Yeah, just dress me up in trash and I'll sit there and watch it.
Jewel drags 8 into a back alley and is like, let's do this.
Okay, so you want to try to disguise 8 as like garbage?
I think that's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Unless anyone has a better
Or
idea.
you're gonna ET this shit and just hide him in. Okay. All right.
Put me inside a rubbish bin.
Yeah, I find a like a dumpster, the D&D equivalent of a dumpster, aka the alley.
Yeah, so this is a noble a noble district, right? So the North Ward is kind of upper middle class, and then the Sea Ward, because it's like up higher, there's all these views, and the real estate is quite expensive up here, and so it's
Upper class.
yeah, it's not quite as like it'd be easy to find a pile of garbage down in the Dock Ward to hide them in. So it'll be a little bit more difficult.
So is it this large building, or is it kind of a walled compound of the three?
Let's take a look at the outside of the house. I think it's just one main building.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm just looking like, is there one of these alleys I can be inside that's like watching onto the thing or something, just for a bit more cover?
Yeah. Main house, grounds, guest house. No, there are a few little buildings, but they're all inside a inside a walled compound. So kind of like a bigger version of the Growlhun's estate, in that there's a main house, there's a coach house at the back, and then there's also a little guest house in one corner.
Okay, and there's one entrance to the walled compound or multiple?
If you take like a walk around, it doesn't look like you can actually get into the walled compound from the outside. Like you'd have to go over the wall. It looks like the only entrances are through the coach house or through the main house itself. Yeah, there's a guarded front door, and then there's the sort of like grounds itself.
In that case, I imagine we want to watch the coach house, because if they're going to do any type of like journey out into the city rather than taking guests or whatever, which we'd have no idea whether or not that would be relevant, we want to watch that exit.
Mm-hmm.
I assume they're in slightly different locations, like you can't see one from the other.
They're all like in the like corners of the yard. I wonder if there's like a good way for me to show you this. That's just the outside. Let me try and I'll put your tokens over here, and we can take a look.
Yeah, I mean, it's not super important if it's difficult. It's just that the intention is watch as much as possible. If we have to choose, probably the coach house.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's not a disguise skill in this game.
No, I think it's deception.
Disguise is a kit.
Oh, it's a kit.
That's right.
Do any of us have that? Oh wait, does Rin have disguise kit?
I don't.
Okay, that's fine. Well,
I keep forgetting that it's not a skill in this,
Yeah,
in this
right.
edition.
Yeah. Okay. So let me make like an investigation check. One of you can do it with help. Like this is just the wandering the periphery, like checking things out.
yeah, I'll help you.
Nice. Okay.
Real glad I had advantage on
All
that
right.
one.
So I'll give you a list of the entrances. So you would probably have missed it had not you made the run of the thing. So the estate takes up the corner of a series of blocks, right, where one street meets another. They're on the corner edge. The house is several stories tall, so they can look out from above, from the windows. There is the front entrance where you see two Castellanter guards standing out front. And then there's a side entrance, like a servant's entrance. So just like a little door. It's not guarded, but you imagine it's probably locked from within. Anyway, there is the coach house where they keep that wagon that you saw, the carriage. And then there's a street and an alley behind the house, but there's no door that you can see. So I'll read you the description of Castellanter Villa from the adventure, and then you can ask me questions if you have any. So, Castellanter Villa's stark white walls and gleaming crimson roof and turrets stand out even among the other opulent estates of the Seaward. A 3-story mansion lies in the midst of picturesque green gardens dappled with hedges and water features. The estate is surrounded by a tall white brick wall with a single wrought iron gate as its entrance. So that enters into the like house itself. The Castellanter family crest, a green Y overlapping a stylized goose being fed, is emblazoned on the gate, and armored guards stand at attention on either side. So there you go.
Why is it a Y
I don't know. I'm not sure.
over a goose being fed?
Yes. Yeah.
That sounds like something you put into a random generator.
Right, a random heraldry generator.
Listen, it's to confuse everyone because it says why. Like, why?
Yeah, so that's the jam, and it looks like the main door is the guarded one out front.
So there's 3.
Yes, yeah, three ways in. I mean 4 if you want to scale the wall, right?
Yeah, I feel like there's always another one.
Yeah, like for you, it would occur to you that definitely like climbing up and over the wall is like an option.
Just wait till someone leaves the window open.
They've probably got that anti-climb paint that ground.
Probably.
Yeah, right. It's they've covered it with frictionless magic paint.
Oh, great!
And then at the
stuff.
top, there's spikes that will, if you touch them, will give you super tetanus. So,
Super tetanus.
so don't.
Super tetanus returns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's how.
It's a good thing there's 2 of us. I think I'll do the stationary one in the place that we.
Yeah.
When Jules around, you'll be, I guess, roaming rooftops, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think, Jewel will just kind of keep circling every so often. Like she'll stop at a door for a while and then kind of go to the next one and then check in with 8 and then just kind of keep doing that.
Okay.
Okay. So just like keep an eye on the joint, see what happens.
Yeah. So she'll just check like the other 2 entrances. She'll like do the servants and then the gate. Or the gate, because 8's gonna mostly be watching the coach house.
Yeah, since I can't make a disguise for myself, is it something just like a stealth check?
It would just be a stealth check, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jewel can help you, but you have to make the check because you're the one hiding.
I guess since I'm in my armor, I'm at disadvantage, but with help, it cancels out to the.
Yep. Okay.
Hey, it's me. I'm the stealth.
Yep. Good. You should have named your character 25. So, yeah. So you kind of try to be like, unassuming, but it's not easy for you. We'll see if they notice you, if anybody goes looking. So where are you? Where are you in terms of like, what are you looking at? Because you can't watch all 3 entrances.
Yeah. I think that coach house exit, because they seemed to use the coach to do their little mission last time. So I figured I'd probably utilize it again.
Okay. All right. So meanwhile, Rin and Macaria, fade in the tavern music as you arrive at the Inn of the Yawning Portal, and and it's not the raucous, loud place that it is at night, but it's busy enough, and there's people.
Isn't it like a festival?
No, you're in between. We're in between festivals. Sornin just ended. And tomorrow is, I believe it's Lyra's night.
So everyone's hungover, is what you're saying.
Yes, they're or they're just powering through, and everybody's still drunk. So yeah, Lyra is the goddess of the Lady of Joy. And her holy day is tomorrow, and it involves lighting celebratory smoke powder fireworks. It is a night-long festival with dances and balls throughout the city. And there, you would know this, Macaria, that there is a penchant for drinking pink beverages. It's
Hmm.
kind of like the St. Patrick's Day of the Forgotten Realms, but with
But
pink instead of green.
Right.
Yeah, so there'll be fireworks and drinking all night. People stay up all night and fire off fireworks. It's going to be loud and raucous, and quite a bit of chaos. And that'll be tomorrow night. So the bartenders are probably, or the staff are probably in the middle of taking down the Sornin decorations and putting up the holy disco ball of Lyra. So they're setting up the joint for that when you arrive.
Right. So we were going to inquire about noble families. Was that
about
was-
the castle enters in particular, I think.
right? So if I scout, I don't know, like who do I see? Like you said, it's like, is there anyone who looks like obviously my quote unquote friend Jalester doesn't like me anymore.
Yeah,
you said-
he is in absentia.
what a jerk.
You see, what was your character's friend's name? Yagra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yagra Stonefist.
So you do see Yagra and Davil both, and they're talking, and and they're in the back of the room. They're having a conversation at one of the tables. They both look like Davil looks concerned and Yagra looks angry, and they're talking, and it's not like they're arguing, but they're talking about something of some seriousness between the two of them, kind of off at the back in the shadows, where these folks tend to lurk. Floon is definitely here. You see Floon flirting with some
God
noble
damn
woman, and he's already got his his warm up to Lyra's night outfit on. So he has this like bright pink
Gross.
suit, and he's got like a purple cravat on, big hat with a pink
Gross.
feather in it.
Oh my
And
god, yes.
they're talking, and he's like rouged up his face in pink, and like and so they're chatting, and
Oh, that probably looks so bad with his orange hair too.
he's actually wearing a wig. He's wearing a
Good.
pink wig.
At least he's
matched it up.
Yeah, come on. He spends all his money on booze and fashion. He's got to look nice. So the two of them are chatting off in the corner. You see Volo and Durnan and some other people, and Volo is telling a story, and Durnan is laughing and like shaking his head. And we kind of get this pan across. There's like a bunch of other people, but
I think that probably you would be more welcome with Durnan's table than I. I'm gonna go talk to and Makaria like changes tonality. She's like, I'm gonna go talk to Davil, and I think that he might be more forthright if you weren't there. And looks pointedly at whatever like silver force gray pin you got going on or whatever.
I wasn't planning to intrude on your conversation. Feel free. I suppose I'll talk to Floon.
I mean, you could also talk to Volo.
Volo knows about monsters, not about nobles.
Durnan knows about everyone, so
Yeah, but do you want Durnan to know you're asking questions? That's the real question.
I'm not asking anything. That's you.
Look, just
Anyway,
go.
we've
I'll
already
figure
talked
it
to
out.
Floon about the Castellanters. All he knows is that they're not good
Have we?
customers.
Oh.
Jewel and I did.
I think you might have talked to him about the Growlhuns, but yes,
No, we talked to him about the Castellanters.
Okay. that's fine.
Yeah, he said that they've got proclivities that people don't like to.
Mhm.
Anyway,
That's
I'm
what you
fairly
thought.
certain. Lauren, do you remember that too, or am I going crazy? No, okay, yeah, I'm fairly certain we talked to.
Yeah. We went as soon as we found out they were involved.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Okay. Anyway, I'll probably go see
You-
if I can.
You go and speak to Devil. I'll find my way into some other conversation.
Right.
All right, Rin. So where are you gonna head? Who do you want to talk to?
I guess I'll go talk to Volo and Durnan. Or I could, I guess, investigate check for somebody else useful or perception or whatever. Not that necessarily there will be anyone, but or anyone I know.
So you walk over to Durnan and you catch the end of Volo's Volo's story where he says, and that's the one I said, does it smell like a ham in here to anybody else? And everybody bursts into laughter. And he chuckles and he's like, oh, it's just telling a story. And he looks over and he's like, Rin, hello. I was
Nice
just
to see
telling
you.
them about my last trip to Chult. How have you been?
Well enough. A little trouble recently, but nothing that we couldn't get out of. I do have a couple of questions, though, about something we need to figure out. And I thought best to come to someone who might be more knowledgeable about the locals.
Yes. Well, you've come to the right place. Excuse me, Durnan, everyone. I have to have a conversation with my friend Rin over here. And Durnan is just like, okay, follow, sure.
Yeah, whatever.
And he goes back to serving customers, and you get the impression that as Volo turns around, everybody the laughing was more at Volo than with him. So there's a lot of like, oh, Volo, that blowhard, like they're sort of chuckling, and Volo turns to you, Rin, and he kind of like takes you aside for a secret conversation, but he makes sure everybody notices him having this like secret conversation. And he leans in conspiratorially and he says, what can your old friend Volo help you with today?
I was hoping you might be able to tell me something about the Castellanter family. They've acquired something that could be dangerous, and we're hoping to get it back.
The Castellanters. Getting involved with the nobility, hmm? Well,
I'm getting involved with being in situations beside is more, I think, likely, typical of our situation.
well, the nobility of Waterdeep is not my area of specialty, but I do know monsters. And what sort of monster is worse than a man, hmm? I should have written that down. And he like takes out his little notebook and he like...
Yes, very good, very good.
Yes, and he like tucks it away and
But it's like, yes, good. Write down things that are very important. I should have written down some stuff myself, but hey, here we are.
Yeah. So you want to ask him about you asked him about the Castellanters?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what Volo knows about the Castellanters. Volo, what is your history scale? Volo. I think Volo is like a first level wizard. Let me see. He's got +4. All right.
I feel like a little disappointed if he didn't have something in history.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
Volo, right? He's a total blowhard. Though actually, looking at his
he's kind of a charlatan.
looking at his stats, I think he's leveled up since Tomb of Annihilation. Like he seems to be more capable here than he was in that adventure.
All right.
Old Volo, look at him. Look at that guy.
It's me.
It's me, Volo. So he kind of like, you see him, he scratches his chin and you can see him like thinking about it, and he says, I have not been back in Waterdeep long enough to give you the gossip that you are looking for, but I have heard of this name before. People, they don't like doing business with them. These Castellanters. I remember Fluna saying something about a bad deal. And maybe you should speak to him. And he looks over and you see Floon, like the woman that he was talking to is like hanging off of him now. And Volo says, by the look of it, you should have make it quick, because I think he's gonna go upstairs pretty quick.
Yes, I'll make sure to speak to him. Thank you, Volo.
Yes, of course.
It's like that moment where it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm done here, and I need to intercept Floon. So
Yeah.
like dramatic cape turn, like off towards where Floon is.
So you turn and you like start to walk away, and Volo turns back to Durnan and he says, Durnan, did I ever tell you about the Demi-Lich? And Durnan's like, ugh, and he like shakes his head like, I can't escape this bar. I'm in hell. and Volo starts talking to him about this lich that he knows about as you wander out into the crowd. So Makaria, where do you go? Who are you? You're gonna just walk over to Davil?
I think at first, like, I want to see if I can like hear what they were talking about. I'm very likely to do a very poor roll.
You want to try to sneak up on Dabble?
But I want
and
to try
Yagra?
and I
Okay.
want to try and sneak up on the thieves, right?
Right. Okay.
Horrible idea.
Do. All right. Let me.
Macaria sneak.
Yeah. Let me look and see.
I have a -1 to stealth.
She basically announces her presence everywhere she goes.
Yeah. Drunkenly stumbling over shit. All right. So I roll for Davil and Yagra Stonefist. Okay. Yagra's so cute.
I bet I'm gonna get like a 20. It'll be great.
Okay, I got the number to beat here, so go ahead and roll.
-1. Void dice 13.
All right. Davil doesn't notice you. But Yagra does.
Oh,
So
do I
as
hear
you-
anything before
You sneak up, and Davil's like in the middle of talking, and he says, he's like, I just don't think we have enough agents in the dock ward to. And Yagra puts her hand up, like, shut up. And she like leans over and she growls at you, and she says, "You, come out of there!" Like sees you in the shadows, like clutching your finger.
Hello. Davil, I don't wait. You're the one that 8 keeps trying to arm wrestle, aren't you?
She scowls. Yes.
I'm Macaria.
I don't care. And
Well-
Davil is like, no, Yagra, no need to be rude. And he turns and he doesn't get up, but he looks up at you and he says, Macaria.
Good to see you're out of jail.
A temporary setback, I assure you. Someone else has taken my place.
Yes, well, there were several things I wished to speak with you about. And she looks over at Yagra, like pretending that her stuff is more important than it is. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if I can talk about it in front of your friend.
Davil raises an eyebrow at your arrogance, but then says to Yagra, I think that Yagra and I finished with our business. And Yagra nods and gets up and looks at you like squinty eyes, and then she pushes past you. Like do you have, this is probably a stupid question. Do you have a drink?
Obviously.
Can you make a dexterity save not to spill it when she like
Yeah.
she like shoulders you?
Yes.
Say DC 12.
All right, I got a -1 dexterity.
Nice. You manage. I mean, of course you do. You manage not to spill your drink on yourself or the floor as Yagra
Yay.
like shoulders you out of the way and walks past you.
Rude.
She can't spill it because she's already drunk it all.
Yeah, right. It's empty. Yeah, you spill it into your mouth. So she pushes past, and Davil gestures at the seat that she was just in, and he says, "Please."
No, thank you. Well, the smaller of the things first, there was a dwarven woman who seemed to be in a spot of trouble. I could not help her as the police or guard or what have you are watching my manor. And she says my manor, like.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I don't know where she went to, and I figured that since she was one of yours, you might determine her value yourself.
One of mine. She's one of ours, Macaria, a member of the family. Disappointing you couldn't help her, but trying times. We're all under a lot of scrutiny these days.
Yes, well, speaking of the and she looks around like
While you're talking to Davil, you notice, actually make a perception check. I want to see how much you notice about this.
Okay, perception. 23.
Nice. Okay. So he has his gloves on. But you notice while he's talking, he's absently like rubbing his wrists. He also has a bruise under one eye that he's done a pretty good job covering with makeup. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, we're all under a lot of scrutiny these days.
Yes, well, I have an idea, perhaps, of why. And like obviously she's been looking around because she just rolled a really high perception, but like she's trying to like make sure that no one's like listening in.
Yeah, it doesn't appear you're being eavesdropped on, no.
The captain of the guard that threw myself and my companions in jail was a doppelganger under the command, I think, of the Castellanters. Do you know anything about them?
A thing or two. Why?
Because they have obtained an object that we, the family, might not want them to keep. The Stone of Galore. Have you heard of that?
You can tell that he has, but isn't willing to be like, oh yes, totally.
Right.
He kind of like just gives you a look of like the word is the name is familiar to him. And you think that the Castellanters have these?
I know that they do.
Interesting.
So perhaps in order to keep all this, and she like gestures, but you can tell that she's like all this stuff from happening again. It might be best to rid the watch of its infiltrators, or just lop the head off the whole thing.
He laughs and he says, "Oh, you're going to assassinate the Open Lord? Have you got a list of secret lord names? Is that it?"
No, I meant the Castellanters.
How about this? I'll invite Omendran for dinner and you can poison him. Does that sound like a good idea?
Poison is for... Okay, you're not being serious, are you? I thought for a second.
He shakes his head. No, of course I'm not. Listen, I appreciate your ambition, and this information about the Stone of Galore could be useful. The Castellanters have it. Do you know what they plan to do with it?
I would assume become ridiculously wealthy, even more so than they are currently.
So the stone conjures wealth then?
No. Am I just giving this to you for free?
You assume I don't already know whatever it is you're about to tell me.
And she's just like trying to play a game that she's really bad at. That Rin is like way better than her at, but she was just like, I don't want Rin there because this is my
Besides, Rin's having fun with Floon.
You gross.
I'm really looking forward to that.
I don't remember who it was that said it. Anyway, someone, was it Rainier? I don't remember. Someone seems to think that this stone knows where Neverember's father stashed all the money he stole from the city or something. I don't know.
There's really just the one Neverember. I mean, Rainier hasn't done anything to make a name for himself. His father, though, some grade A embezzling. Very impressive work. Shame he couldn't get away with it. Had to leave all those dragons behind. Think of what he could be doing. Not much of a vacation in Neverwinter, is it? Well, you think that this stone is going to lead the Castellanters to the treasure, then?
I mean, that's what other random people seem to think. I honestly don't remember. Was it? It was Rainier, right? Or maybe it was that woman with the staff in the tower. Anyway, yes. That seems to be what the prevailing idea about why they want the rock is.
Well, we have been keeping an eye on the Castellanters. People of some unusual fortune, those.
Yes. Well, so have I been keeping an eye.
I'm not precisely sure what it is that you want, Makaria.
Neither do I. It seems to be so important to everyone else. I just want to be left to my own devices, but apparently those devices are illegal.
Well, if you want to change the law, you need gold. Lots of it.
So, do you have any information? I mean, with this getting the And she's like, drink some more. Like, it's just
Right.
like, I don't know. I'm not the brain of these operations.
And yeah, he shakes his head and he says, "Don't worry yourself about it, Makaria. Why don't we sit here and have a drink, and you tell me everything you know about the Stone of Galore and the Castellanters? I'm sure you've got quite the tale to tell."
Rin, wait.
Let's not worry about Rin, shall we? And he like leans forward and like puts a hand on yours, and it's like
Oh,
he does this thing where he's being familiar, but you can feel like there's a little bit of like, don't you worry about her. We're going to have a conversation. You're going to tell me everything you
We're
know.
gonna talk now, and I have a knife behind my back kind of conversation.
Yeah, more just like he's not threatening you, but it's a like, let's just talk, you and I, just friends. You don't need Rin.
don't touch me.
And yeah, he just grins at you and doesn't move his hand. So what do you tell him? Do you hide anything, or are you just like, here's what's happened so far?
I mean, I think the thing is, like, at first she's trying to like play the like, I have information that you need, like, and I'm gonna be reticent, but then he probably orders like another jug of wine, and she's just like,
Okay, sure. All right. So while you're telling the Zentarum all about everything you know about the stone, Rin, you wanted to go and talk to Floon?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So they're chatting and he's saying things and she's giggling at them and they're having this kind of like hushed conversation. And you walk over. Neither of them like notice you before you say anything.
Floon.
Hello, Rin. Have you met my friend Tiffany? And Tiffany just like looks at you and she's like obviously kind of drunk and says, Tiffany and I met last night at Sorden. We're just going to keep drinking until it's Lyra's night. Do you want anything? And he turns to Dernan and Dernan just looks at him like, why am I surrounded by assholes?
No, it's fine. I'm not really here for drinking at the moment, though. Thank you.
And he says, well then, what are you doing in the tavern? And Tiffany just giggles like that's the funniest thing she's ever heard. Like not drinking in a tavern. And she's kind of like tipsy a little bit.
Honestly, I was hoping to run into you.
And he says, oh really? Is that so? Well, it looks like you've gotten what you wanted today.
I was thinking about all of the people I know who have rubbed elbows with the nobility over their time.
You see him like wiggle his eyebrows at Tiffany, who like turns pink and like giggles. So she's wearing like it's like a gown, like a nightgown. She's overdressed for this tavern. Like she obviously was wearing this last night. But it's a gown, but it only comes down to kind of like mid thigh, and it's all ruffly and pink. She looks like a big cupcake. And she's wearing platform heels that are like 6 inches tall, and she's kind of like wobbling on them.
May identify her as somebody important, or is she just like?
She's like a rich, like a dilettante. She has her little purse that jingles, and she wobbles.
Has the Castellanter thing in
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Tiffany Castellanter.
Tiffany, yeah, Tiffany Castellanter. She's the final boss.
Yeah. All right. So like, I sort of lay it on a little bit, and then go. I was hoping to get into some business with one of the noble families around here, and I wanted to see what you thought of them or anything that you knew about them that might persuade or dissuade me from following that particular path.
And he says, well, if I remember correctly, the last 2 times you asked me about the nobility, you were asking about some very ill-advised friends. And trust me, I know everybody in this town. I know who the good people are and who the bad people are.
Well, I think I'm about to ask you about an ill-advised friend again.
And he turns to Tiffany. He's like, Tiffany, darling. And he takes a key out of his pocket and he puts it in her hand. He says, I'll be upstairs in just a moment. Why don't you go ahead and unfurl the sails? I'll be there in a minute. and she like giggles and like walks up. It's like it takes her a long time to get up those stairs, but she very slowly starts to like ascend the stairs. And he turns back and he says, we'll have to make this quick, Rin. She's gonna fall asleep before I get there. Some people just aren't cut out for partying, you know what I mean? Anyway, is this about the Castellaners again? I told you to stay away from those people. They're just bad news.
Unfortunately, we've become inextricably tangled in this situation, and would like to know anything that you have about them.
Well, I had hoped you would lose interest in that family the last time we spoke. I tried to warn you off, but
I wish I could have.
if you and your friends are certain that you have to engage with them, I'm willing to gossip a little bit, but listen, don't tell anybody I told you this. So
Our secret.
the Castellaners, they were on their way out some years ago. Everything looked like they were running out of money. This is the thing about being a noble. It's very expensive. You have to keep up, and he like gestures at himself, appearances. It's why
Yes,
being a fake...
nice
being-
costume.
Being
by
a
the way.
fake noble is even harder than being a real one because they've all got money. Anyway, they were on their way out. Everybody was certain that they were done, but well, somehow they managed to reverse their fortunes almost overnight. They own a banking, a money lending business. We all thought they were done for. Then all of a sudden, like gold from heaven, it looked like.
Perhaps not from heaven.
What do you mean?
Well, I suppose if you're going to gossip a little, I should gossip a little as well. It's only fair. We ran into some devilish creatures, we think, in their employ. So that may explain where the money came from.
And he nods and he says, dangerous business. Remind me to tell you sometime about the succubus that I ran into. Anyway, you're not here to hear about my succubus story. So the castle,
So like, I don't know. Sounds
The
pretty
cat-
interesting.
yeah, the Castellanter family, Victoria and Amalia, they've children, Terenzio and Elzarita. They had another son, but he disappeared 3 years ago. Right around the same time they were all going bankrupt. Real tragedy. They still have their young sons, though. These kids, they're spoiled. Worse, you'd think, than your average noble. I don't ever plan on having children because, well, he just gestures like, look at me.
I'm like, yes, well, the plan and the execution, the amount of, never mind.
It's funny, though. The Castellaners used to be a big deal some generations ago. Caladorn, Victorio's father, he was a lord of Waterdeep. Well, one of the masked ones, but you find out after
Was
they
this
die.
at the same time that Neverember was the lord?
You can see him doing the math, and he says, I suppose there would be some overlap. But well, the Castellaners, they've been trying real hard to make everybody like them again. Since they had all this money, they've founded a handful of what's the word? Philanthropic endeavors, making generous donations to various temples. But it's funny, they actually, and he like looks over at Macaria and he says, they've got some strange religious proclivities themselves. They worship Cyomorph. It's a goddess of nobility, popular among the nobles, but you don't worship Cyomorph. You're just kind of, she's around. She's just a demigod.
Sounds like a front to me.
And he shrugs. He's like, religion's not my business.
No, I can see that.
He smiles and he says, I'm not really the praying type, though I have been known to evoke the gods from time to time. Speaking of which,
And I'm sure occasionally kneel to pray.
and he nods. He says, piety is useful from time to, but you know what? And he shrugs and he's like, She's probably fast asleep by now. I'm going to get another beer. Wait about 20 minutes. Head up there and wake her up. Just tell her that she had the time of her life.
Not a bad plan.
He stretches and he says, well, gotta know when to take a break. Restore the energy.
Yes, I often take a break by having a beer and waiting 20 minutes, certainly.
He shrugs. He says, Lyra's night is a very busy night for me, so if I can reserve some of my energy and just tell Tiffany she got the goods, then, well, everybody wins, don't they?
Well, you are appropriately attired, so.
And he nods. He's like, attired and worn out. Durden, a beer. And Durnan's like, yeah, here you go. And like gives him a beer.
Well, enjoy yourself, Floon. Thank you.
Oh, I'm not in the business of enjoying myself. But hopefully someone else will enjoy me. Just not Tiffany.
Yeah, I gotta make my exit on that one.
You're just like, I gotta go.
I don't have another fucking line for this. I was going into this conversation with the thought that maybe I could get more by flirting with him, but I just couldn't bring myself.
You just couldn't do it. You're like,
like me, Elf, could not bring myself.
Fair,
to
totally
play
fair. So okay, so before we leave the tavern, before you leave that on Makaria, Davil gives you a mission. He mentions that there's an errand that he'd like you to run.
An errand.
So once you've like divested yourself of the information that you know about the Stone of Glore, he says to you, well, Makaria, that's all very well and good. I'll pass it along the line. Maybe there's someone in the network who can keep an eye on the castle enters. If I find out anything of use, I'll be sure to let you know. Now, in the meantime, if you'd like to do us a favor and earn yourself some coin, we'd appreciate it.
Sure. Has he stopped touching my hand?
Yeah, that was just the like, you're not going anywhere till I let you go. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
So like at this point, she's fairly in her cups, and she's just like, sure, Davil. What would you have of me?
Well, your talk of noble families reminded me that, well, Yagra was telling me just this morning that the Snow Beetles, they're a family of halflings. Rich family. Beetles. One of their family members has gone missing, and they're offering a reward for his return.
You want me to chase after a beetle?
A halfling, Makaria. Dasher Snow Beetle.
Right. Do they care if he was returned living, breathing, and all that?
Well, I imagine they would prefer to have him back alive, but the reward's 500 gold pieces. It could be valuable to an enterprising agent of the Black Network, don't you think?
And she looks over at the bar, like very obviously thinking, like, how much wine could I buy with 500?
He snaps his fingers. Makaria, focus.
You're the one who bought me all that wine, Davil.
Yes,
Fine.
because we're friends, Makaria, and I want to give you the things that you want. But spending 500 dragons on ale is a waste. You can do better. Try to use some of that ambition for something useful. I'm giving you an opportunity.
Right. Well, I would gladly pursue this halfling.
Well, if you don't forget by the time you've sobered up, look into it.
I have a very good memory, and I'm quite often drunk. So if I forgot everything, and she just goes on for probably until he cuts her off about.
Yeah. And he says, just be careful.
Now that we're friends, you're concerned about my well-being.
I'm concerned about our well-being. The city guard have it out for the Black Network these days. They should be going after the Brigandareth and the Xanathar Guild. But they come after us because we're visible. Do the city guard, these investigators, do they know that you're one of us?
I don't know why they dislike me, but they do. So maybe they suspect something. I'm
Gods
generally
forbid.
distasteful to most people in positions of authority.
Gods forbid that anyone would find you distasteful, Makaria. Anyway, look into it. Make yourself some money. Spend it on something that isn't liquor. And he stands up and he says, he looks like he's trying to think of like, he's like, not sure. Like there was something he was going to say, and then he just shakes his head and he says, don't get yourself arrested. And he walks off.
Bye.
Bye. So, 8 and Jewel. You are watching the Castellanter estate. They've had the stone for a little while. I don't think even a full day yet. And 8, you are in like an alley or whatever nearby, watching the coach exit. And Jewel, where are you?
Yeah.
She's kind of doing loops.
Yeah.
So she's focusing on the other 2 entrances. So she's kind of trying to like bop back and forth between them to give them some coverage.
Okay. All right.
Alternatively, if she can see both of them from like a rooftop across the street, she'll 100% climb up on someone's house to watch.
Yeah, I think you can do that. You can climb up on not necessarily someone's house, but like a shop.
Something tall.
Yeah. And yeah, you can watch from up there. Yeah, so I think you see the door to the coach house like open. And the wagon with 2 horses pulling it emerges from the doors. What will you do?
Well, we're going to follow it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Jewel does the close follow, and then I do the Jewel follow.
Okay.
That tends to be the best way to do these things.
You do the finding Jewel's unconscious body if Jewel gets.
Yeah. Like you see Jewel sort of like cuts past 8. She's like, if I'm unconscious, wake me up again. She continues after the cart.
Okay. All
You
right.
get Makaria.
So you see the wagon, the carriage leave. There's the 2 horses. You can't see who's in the carriage because it's shut, but you see the Bloodborne NPC driver, with his long coat and his top hat, and you actually get a closer look at him now. And he is he's a tiefling. He's older. He's got a white beard. He has the two kind of curling horns that come up out of his forehead, and then the hat sits in between them. He's got the little like horse whip in his hand, and he's dressed nicely. He's got little brass buttons on his
Doppelganger.
black. Yeah, it's the same. This is the confusing thing, is you don't know if that was the doppelganger or if the doppelganger was pretending to be that guy, but you see the same figure. Jewel, you recognize this guy. And then sitting next
For devils.
Sitting next to him is a guard. He's wearing armor with the tabard of the house on it, a little helmet. And he's sitting, and the 2 of them aren't speaking. They're just headed on an errand somewhere. And so the carriage rattles out into the street and begins heading out east, I think, from where you are. Let's take a look at the map.
Yeah, that's a question. Do doppelgangers have to doppelgang someone that has existed, or can they make up an appearance?
They can just make up appearances.
Okay.
Yeah, they can just be like, I want to be a human that looks like this, etc. Okay.
Maybe I should not use doppelgang as a verb.
No, yeah. Okay, so they head out onto Delzorin Street, which is wide and busy, and they're going like, the thing is, you don't take a carriage because it gets you anywhere fast. Like, walking is about the fastest speed anyone goes in Waterdeep. You go in a carriage so you don't have to walk, so you can just sit there while somebody else pulls you there. So they head out onto Delzorin Street and they start heading east. let me get my red pen here, and we'll draw the little line. So they come out onto Delzara and they start going this way. You want to follow along?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm debating whether or not I want to also hitch a ride on this carriage.
Yeah.
She's like little Klingon underneath the carriage, but I feel like we're gonna start with following from a probably like 60-foot distance. Probably be what she goes for because she knows she can close that if she needs to.
Okay. All right. So they continue down Delzoran Street, crossing Mendever, then Sewell, then Shield, then Copper Street. They pause briefly at the corner of the high road, waiting for some traffic to go by. And then they continue, and they turn left on Windborne Way and right on Serdune Street.
Are they going to our house?
Yeah, Jill probably picks that up. She's like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
She's curious what they're gonna do.
Yeah. And then they get to the corner of Serdune and Thunderstaff Way. And
Are
they
you staking out the stakeout?
They
Are
hang-
they staking out us?
they hang a right. And they go
So I
into-
think when she sees
they go
that
into
they're
Troll Skull
going
Alley.
there, she like ducks around the alleyway and she wants to do that thing where if they knock on the door, she like opens it and she's like, hello, I've been here the whole
Right,
time.
you like run into your own house through the
Yeah.
top window, scramble downstairs. Yeah. So let's jump into that map. They actually, when they go into Troll Skull Alley, they actually don't go to your house. There's a moment where you're like, are they going to our house? But they don't. So they come in. Obviously, there aren't guards scattered everywhere anymore.
Or all of us.
Yeah, or all of you. So the cart comes in from the north here. Heads this
Nice.
direction.
Oh.
Goes right past your house
She pauses. She's
and
like,
continues.
Are they gonna go to Trench's house?
No, but that'd be funny.
That's
So they
fair.
head south. The carriage heads this way and stops.
Are they going to those lovely blacksmiths? Is that what?
And that's
the blacksmith's were?
that's where they stop. Yeah, they stop outside Embrick and Avi's shop.
Oh no, don't kill them. They're wonderful.
So they stop there. The wagon comes to a halt. The guard gets down, walks around the side of the wagon, and opens the door. And from out the wagon, I wonder he'd come in person. Let's see if I have a handout for our old friend Victoro here.
Don't let them murder our sweet gay boys.
So
won't.
I mean, he wouldn't personally come here necessarily to just like murder everybody.
Necessarily.
Necessarily.
I hear your hypothetical.
I mean, I don't want to speak, for them. Let's see.
He's gonna get his weapon silvered. Like I
Except
want
for
to.
you literally do speak for them.
I guess I don't have a handout just for these guys.
I mean, I needed to buy a short sword, so
I mean,
where's
I can
the sword?
show you Victoro and Amaya. He's not wearing the cool sunglasses. That's him, and then that's his wife.
Well, I don't know what he looks like. Can you take the sunglasses
For
off?
Frida Kahlo. Yeah, I think I can try and do that.
Are they
As
drow?
he steps out of the carriage, takes
No,
off
I
his
think it's just the picture has like a purpley
Well,
tint.
I just know that we have Mr. What's his name, Jarlaxle in the back, and I know he's a drow, and they have the same like.
I think he's a half elf, but
Yeah, he looks like a half elf because his
yeah,
ears
there.
are quite
Now you can see him. I'll just move him down a little bit. So that's what he looks like. Here, watch.
Okay. And then she's not.
Yeah,
Her
she's-
eyebrows are not as fierce.
No, her eyebrows are not caterpillar style like a World of Warcraft elf. So you see him get out, and him and the guard go inside. Yeah, and they go inside the shop.
There's only one entrance to the shop that she knows about, right?
Yes. No. There's a back entrance. I mean, you can see it right back here.
You know what? 2 people are allowed in a store at the same time.
Oh, tense standoff.
You're
We're
just
like,
gonna walk in and be like, "Hey guys."
She needs a short sword.
So 8, you're not as fast as Jewel.
Doppelganger.
You're not as fast as Jewel, so you're gonna arrive in a minute. Jewel has a chance to endanger herself here. So Jewel, do you want to go in the back is not a customer entrance. The back is
No,
like
that's
into
why
the
it'd be
workshop.
weird if she was in the back entrance, but if
Yes.
she walked in the front door.
If you walk in the front door, yeah, the carriage driver will see you walk inside.
Oh yeah, no,
It's a
true.
bold move.
You know
I
what?
like it.
Hey!
Just the fuck you, I'm going in. What are you gonna do? It's a free country. You can't stop me. I'm going into the store.
So there's two things she wants to do. One is walk in the store. The other one is cling onto the bottom of the caravan so she can get inside when the coach goes.
Those are both amazing ideas.
I don't know if that means I shouldn't do either of them.
That is up to you, my friend. I am not there to advise you. As a player, I would say yes, do it, fuck
Yeah.
it, do it. But
I think you should. I think you should go in the back and try and be sneaky and
I
hear
mean,
what
that's the
they're saying.
most in character thing. I think she's gonna try and. I think she's probably gonna sneak into the back. That seems like the most Jewel thing to do. It's either that or go on the bottom of the coach because she's not an in-person confrontation sort of cat.
Right.
She wouldn't walk in the front door and be like, "Let me try and talk to this person." That's what Rin should
She
do.
doesn't stare people in the eyes and knock stuff off the counter. She does it while they're in the other room.
Yeah, she does sometimes do it, but not very often. It's like that. She wants to know what they're talking about, so going inside's more important.
Yeah.
So she's gonna try and sneak in the back entrance.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, here. Let me get a little. Your path from the north entrance was like this, and then probably down into this alley, and then run across, and then climb up onto this.
Thought they were
roof.
going to our place. Like what?
Yeah. Right. There's one of these where you go in a circle over here,
Yeah.
and then
Oh shit!
over onto this building, and then you can kind of hop, and then jump down like that. And then you want to sneak in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The door's open because it's summer and it's hot.
Yeah.
You can smell the scent of the forge from inside, the smoke billowing up out of the chimney. This back part is built around the forge and is quite hot. But they've got the door open so the air can flow through, and you can hear inside the thunking of a hammer on an anvil.
Cool. So she's and she's gonna try and get to she knew there was the door in between the two parts, the back and the front, because they saw one of them come through that. So she heard them arguing on one side, so it's not a super thick door.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna try and get up to that one and try and listen.
Okay.
Probably sneaking behind whoever's working at the forge.
Okay, yeah. So you want to sneak first. You want to sneak into the forge room and then try to get past it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So inside you hear the thump, the clanging of steel and hammer, the hiss as something is quenched in water, and there's whistling, kind of in between the loud sounds. Someone is whistling to themselves to keep time, and yeah, make a stealth roll.
Oh, we'll see how this goes. Worst comes to worst, I'll lie my way out of it. It's the only reason I have points in deception.
Okay, yeah, Embrick doesn't notice you as you slip in. So you come in, and Embrick, because he's in the workshop, so he doesn't need to look, and he doesn't have he doesn't wear an apron either because he's a fire genasi. So he is stripped to the waist, and so you can see his reddish skin glistening with sweat. He's got enormous arm and chest muscles. He's got his big red beard. He's very furry. The backs of both arms and his chest are just a nest of curly black
Is
hair.
that how they solved the whole dropping the apron on the ground debacle from last time?
No aprons.
Just wear
Yeah,
an
just
apron.
no aprons. He's just
What if you just didn't wear an apron?
He's just pouting. And he has a tattoo that runs from his elbow across his shoulder and his neck of a dragon. And he's just whistling to himself and hammering away at the steel. And he doesn't notice you. Yeah, you just slip in. And we probably get a little sneaking montage, right? Of like him like turning and you like scampering behind him.
He hammers, you step. He
Yeah,
hammers,
right.
you step.
Yeah. Yeah, he quenches the sword in his like quenching barrel, and he draws it out and like goes back to finishing what he was doing. Yeah, and I think you skulk past him through the workspace and into the other room. And once you get out of the forge area, you come into a back room, and on the wall there's like a bookshelf with a bunch of ledgers. There's like a little office in between the two, and you can hear talking in the other room. Of course, it's hard because of the like burning of the forge. It's hard to hear. Now, if you want to stay here and try to listen, you can, but you'll be at disadvantage. Or you can push on and try to slip in and see who Avi is talking to and what they're talking about.
Less likely to get in trouble if she gets caught here, but I mean, she probably tries. She's like, "Fuck, this is too hard," and so yeah, she's gonna keep going.
Okay.
More trouble. Get
Okay.
in trouble.
All right.
My sneak is higher than my perception.
Okay. So you go ahead and roll stealth. So you got past Embrick.
Oh Lord, may the dice be with me.
Okay, and then that's Avi, and you have one more person who might hear you. Where's our boy Victoro?
What about Mr. Willifort?
Well, you're lucky.
You went in with the guard, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, no, what's his name? Willifort is outside.
Willifort Crowell, I believe you told us his name was.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So
What
you
a fucking servant guy name.
right. So you slip into the room, and it doesn't interrupt their conversation. So you hear a deep, rich man's voice speaking to the familiar voiced Avi, who is speaking quietly. And this noble, who you can only assume is Victoro. You don't get a good look at him because you're like crouched down in the back of the room. And Victoro is saying, or Avi is saying when you walk in, Avi is like, You're sure you don't want us to craft it into anything? It's just an unusual request. And Victoro says, yes, an unusual request I'm paying you well for. And I need you to be quick. We're going to have to source the adamantine. An entire bar, a bar this large. Well, that's going to take some days. And it's in between the holidays, sir. Yes, well, I thought. And there's like the sound of gold hitting the table. He says, I thought this might hasten the project. Whatever else you're working on, discard it. You work for me now. And Avi's like, we have deadlines, sir. And he says, deadlines I'm willing to pay you to break. You've got a week. I will be very pleased if you can do it sooner. And Avi's like, yes, of course. Right, so a bar of adamantine, 1,000 pieces of gold worth, plus workers' fees. Your bill, sir. And Victoria, you hear the like whooshing as he like waves his hand in dismiss of this, and he says, I don't want to see it. Send it to my house. And Avi's like, yes, sir. Of course. And you hear Victoro turn around and leave. And Avi, talking to himself, he's like, oh, Embrick's not going to be happy about this. He hates, but it's a lot of money. Where am I going to get this much adamantine? Eldath, help me. I need a drink. And you hear footsteps as he comes like closer to you.
I think that's when she's going to try and leave as
Okay.
quietly as she can.
Stumbles out of the back. Oh, hey!
So back the way you came, or so by now, 8, you have arrived on the scene. You have no idea where Jewel is, but you see the carriage. Yeah, let's cut outside. So you see the carriage outside, and you have a moment before Victoro comes back outside.
there is, yeah, because I'm like, I'd walked up this way and then I saw Jewel like sneaking into a house. I was like, okay, like, back around. And if I'm out on this main road and like he comes back out, there is nowhere for me to hide. So I just have to continue walking in the same direction. And I'm going to try and make sure I get like a good look at his face
Okay. All right.
for murdering later.
Casual.
Add him to the murder file. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He steps out of the door, and he moves around. Victorio moves around like a man who's always got somewhere to go. 8 wouldn't know this, but he is dressed very fashionably, in the fashion of the time.
Of all of us, 8 is the only one with like tailoring skills. So I like to imagine, does 8 read like Waterdeep Vogue?
Right.
Maybe I'll pick it up when we got some more time.
Yeah. So I guess you would recognize his clothes are very well made. They're expensive. They're made out of fine material. What other things would 8 notice?
Has he got a weapon?
He does. He has a beautiful rapier on his belt.
I want it.
Oh,
He's also walking with a cane, and the cane has a ruby.
I want that too.
He clutches in his fist. And when he walks up to the cart, he like,
And
grabs
he has
it
a
off the ground.
ruby. He has a ruby rod. You're saying?
He does indeed.
Perhaps a ruby tipped rod.
Yeah.
I wonder what that could mean. I'm not implying anything that I definitely don't already know about. I haven't read all of the demon stuff or devil stuff ever. No, I would never do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
Right. Yeah. So he has this ruby tipped this rod that he walks around, this cane he walks around with, and he is described in the adventure as being let's see, devilishly handsome. He is a devilishly handsome half elf. So he has like a waxed mustache and like oil black hair, cheekbones you could cut glass with, and he walks up and he like taps the wagon, and the door opens, and a little ladder like tunk, tunk, falls out, and he steps up into it, and in his little like buckled shoes, and and then the door shuts.
okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll continue walking up as though I have somewhere to be as well. I'm just like, da, 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 da.
Okay, yeah. So we get this thing, and this is a great thing to go on break at. So the wagon turns and continues towards you, and in slow motion, you and the wagon like pass each other, and we see the tiefling driver just turn and look at you and just flash you this sharp-toothed smile, like, "Hey, fucker, we got your stone," and like they just drive. He just drives by in slow motion, grinning at you.
It's the Luigi like.
Yeah. Right. He just blue shelled you hard. Yeah. Yeah, and he just looks at you like, "Hello," like passing a friend in the street. Like he just smiles at you as the wagon goes by, and I think we fade to break on that. So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we return, we will continue with today's episode of Roll20 Presents Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.